Senegal, the Lions of Teranga. And Mbizo, you and I were really high on them at the African Cup of Nations. They, well, in our opinion, were the best team in that tournament, but now they have to prove that at the upcoming World Cup. So when you look at the roster that manager and head coach Pop Tiao has put together for the Lions of Teranga, when you look at starting with the back line and the goalkeeping situation, what are your opinions on it, and any notable omissions for you?
For me, the words that jump into focus immediately, I mean, extreme depth, extreme balance, a lot of experience, and also a lot of youthful exuberance and talent. So there's a lot of really good balance between, past, present, and future, which I think, will do them really well in this World Cup. I mean, there's always going to be notable admissions from a team like Senegal, but none that I think will affect the team in such a negative fashion that it would be something to worry about. Again, the depth that this team displays, I think, is unlike probably any other in recent African football history, or perhaps in all of African football history. And again, they combine that African flavor, the athleticism, the unpredictability, with a discipline, a professionalism, and an order, structural order, on the field, in the backroom staff, in the culture itself, that I think it has been uncommon in African football. So for me, an incredibly complete squad, and a squad that's psychologically and structurally prepared to compete at this World Cup.
And Mbizo, looking at just that core group, the big thing that I take away from Senegal is a team that knows how to win together over a decade, is a team that can maintain quality and success. Just looking at players like Edouard Mendy, a Champions League winner with Chelsea, also being an AFCON winner with Senegal. But when you look at that back line, who is the leader of that back line that fans need to keep an eye on?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Edouard Mendy for sure. Once upon a time, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and surely still maintains some of that class. But for me, Koulibaly is for sure one of Africa's greatest centre backs. And I think he's not just an elite defender, but he has this composure and this calming presence that I think allows the entirety of the back line to feel comfortable and safe. One of those players whose jerseys is almost never dirty. Strong, composed, and it's just extremely consistent and reliable. And I think he allows the entirety of the team to feel comfortable going forward, and to just, be organized and structured. He's vocal, but he also leads through example. So for me, that certainly one of the leaders of the team.
Now, flipping it forward
to
the midfield in Mbizo, I love the Senegalese midfield because so much focus is put on the front three and the front line, but there's a nastiness, there's a dirtiness about the way they're willing to roll up their sleeves and get down and dirty. So we've seen that Senegal kind of has this European feel and this European flavor. What can we expect, and who are some names to keep an eye on for the Lions of Teranga going into this summer?
For me, one of the most underrated players in this Senegal team, and I think for the duration of his career, has been Idrissa Gana Gueye. I mean, I think for me, I've once described him as a poor man's N'Golo Kante. I mean, an outstanding work rate, a good eye for pass, decent passing range, and obviously he actuates more as a defensive midfielder, but he can really contribute to going both directions, with a good long-range shot as well. A lot of tactical intelligence to ensure that midfield is always ticking and is always comfortable. I'm also a huge fan of Pape Gueye himself because again, another super complete African midfielder, can defend, can go forward. Eye for goal, we saw in that AFCON final. I mean, what a spectacular finish and wonderful goals throughout the course of the tournament. So for me, Idrissa Gueye will be key. I mean, obviously, he's getting up in age, probably coming towards the end of his career, but that midfield is so solid, and there's a lot of depth. I mean, when you think about players like Pape Matar Sarr, being on the bench, not being really one of the star players in this team, it shows you the kind of depth that this midfield has. I mean, so many players that can come off the bench and make changes. Lamine Camara is another player who I think is extremely talented. So that the depth of this team is just absolutely unbelievable.
Now, I want to talk about this front three, and we got some of the fluff out of the way because Senegalese football right now, what makes them truly special is they have a front three that at different times we've talked about it, and I've heard you mention it, that they could arguably be the best front three in the African continent for you. And Mbizo, looking at this front three, what makes them so special? And what do teams have to fear? Is it just Mane or bust?
No, absolutely not. I mean, Sadio Mane for me, the African football GOAT, what an exceptional player. I think for me, one of the most complete attackers that Africa has ever produced, and he's proved it at a number of different teams on a number of different occasions on the continent, off of it. I mean, he really is the face and symbol of Senegalese football and of African football, modern African football. But you look at players like Iliman Ndiaye, for me, what a magician, incredible player that can unlock any defense. So, when things are struggling for Sadio or the other players in the attack, this is really a player that can demonstrate a lot of magic. I think extremely inventive. And for me, I'm a huge fan of his football. He brings a joy to the game that I think everyone who watches football, loves football, enjoys to see. And again, Nicholas Jackson, I think he's a player that gets a lot of stick for his inconsistent finishing. But for me, his movement, even when he was at Chelsea, his movement is really what I would describe as world class. And that movement is really a hassle for defenders who have to chase him all around, and him vacating and entering spaces really facilitates the rest of the offense to be a bit free to look for the spaces that he vacates and sort of, destabilizes defenses, breaks down their structure. So he might not add, a lot of goals. He's not as prolific as some might want a striker to be, but he adds a fluidity, a pace, an unpredictability, and a work rate defensively that I think really does well for Senegal. And I think the second goal against the United States demonstrate that. He won the ball, and then he was quick enough to beat the goalkeeper to the ball and put it across for Sadio Mane to just slip in. So for me, this is a team that's so complete in every area, and in the attack, again, they can do everything. They can put the ball down, they can dribble, they can find a pass, good in the air. I mean, just a top-class team.
Yeah, also to mention Mbizo from PSG as well. Got to watch him in the African Cup of Nations. I know you're really high on him.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.